So I wasn't expecting to make this video. I wasn't even planning on making any content about the Gen 10 reveals, since I've been burnt out from Pokemon over the past several years, especially since Pokemon Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet let me down, and I have heard good things about Pokemon Legends Zaza, but it didn't really look that appealing to me, and I didn't want to risk spending $70 on a game that I wasn't even sure I would like. The one exception during the Switch era was Pokemon Legends Arceus. I actually did quite like that game, but everything else just kind of looked underwhelming or looked like they were very lackluster in more ways than one. So I wasn't really confident that Pokemon would significantly improve in many ways, but I was wrong, since Pokemon Winds and Waves actually looks kind of good. I'm not gonna get my hopes up super high yet, since multiple Pokemon titles have let me down in the past, but the visuals here look very promising, and it does look like the game will also run well too. Everything seems to be running pretty smoothly here. It doesn't quite look like a Switch 2 game. I will say, in terms of raw resolution, it looks pretty good. It still does very much look like a Switch 1 game in terms of visual fidelity and textures and models and things, but that still is a significant step up from the previous games. Like, a lot of the other games ran into quite a lot of issues and looked like they were from a couple generations ago. But this looks much more modern and actually looks like a competent HD game. And another thing, the water looks quite good in this game. I feel like Mario Wii U will be proud, and IGN probably won't even mind that there will be too much of it in this game. I know graphics aren't everything, but it is nice to have a Pokemon game that actually looks competent in terms of graphics, because this is the highest grossing media franchise in the world. I know that's a very boring statement that literally everyone says, but I think it's fair to have higher expectations for a franchise that rakes in billions of dollars each year. And another thing that is worth mentioning is the fact that this game isn't releasing this holiday season, but next year in 2027, which means this game will have over a year and a half of development left. And with that in mind, I feel like the footage that we've seen so far looks very promising this far out. If it already looks like a good-looking Switch 1 game, imagine how it will look next year. I know in the past we've had Pokemon games that kind of looked rough when they initially were revealed, and a lot of people were expecting them to look better, only for them to not really improve much when they launched. That was within a shorter time frame than what we have now. The time frame between reveal and release is actually very similar to Pokemon Legends Zaza's, but when that game was revealed back in 2024, we only got a teaser trailer and didn't get any actual footage. This time frame also gives them more than enough time to iron out things like lower res textures and some of the lighting, different things like that. So I am actually kind of confident that this game will look pretty good when it actually releases. They were also confident enough to show this much footage this far from release, which is a huge shift from how they handled things during the Switch 1 era. I'm wondering if they actually took a lot of the feedback from fans and various players into consideration when developing this game. And also the higher expectations that people will have for a Switch 2 game because of the fact that the Switch 2 is capable of running current gen games. I feel like Game Freak definitely put more time and effort into this time. Like, we see what they aren't capable of, since they are developing Beast of Reincarnation, which looks absolutely incredible from what we've seen. So we know that they are capable of making great games when they have enough time and a high enough budget. We've seen from the leaks that Gen 10 may only have a $20 million budget, which does kind of sound disappointing, but I'm wondering if changes were made behind the scenes to increase the budget for this game to make a more competent experience, or there's enough time given for this game's development to make a competent game within a limited budget. I definitely feel like there were some changes within Game Freak to help make these games significantly better. And I also wanted to talk about some other aspects of the game itself. Like, I really like how the region looks here. I know it kind of does seem reminiscent of the Alola region, but it has much more of a Southeast Asian vibe to it, since that seems to be the inspiration for it, and it looks really nice. I feel like the tropical island aesthetic and Pokemon blend together very well. This world also seems to have a lot going on as well. It looks very lively, natural, and immersive, and it seems like a place that I'd actually want to explore, which is a feeling that I haven't gotten from a Pokemon game for quite a while. There even seems to be some underwater exploration as well, since it had a shot kind of going underwater where it showed some Pokemon swimming around. It looked really cool overall. I also love how the starters look too, with Sprout, Ponbon, and Gekwa. I especially love Ponbon since it's based on a dog, and I love dogs. I'm a little biased there, but that's the one I'll be choosing if I end up picking up this game. I also love those new Pikachu characters with Mr. Windychew and Miss Wavychew. Their outfits are adorable. I just love the character designs we've seen so far. They're definitely pretty promising. So overall, I'd have to say I'm cautiously optimistic about this game. I'm not gonna get super excited yet because there is a chance that it could turn out to be underwhelming, but I definitely am a little more hopeful for this game than any of the other Pokemon games that have released over the past 8 to 9 years. But anyways, let me know what you think down in the comments, and thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!